Good afternoon. We will call this regular meeting. It is June the 21st, yes, 2022. It is 5:36 p.m. and we call this meeting to order. We will have Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Mijares, will you lead us?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. We will now move to public hearing of the Eagle Pass Independent School District proposed federal grant entitlements. And we're opening the public hearing at this time. It is 5:37. And we don't have anybody signed up for the public hearing. We will close it at this time. It is 5:37. We will now move to citizens' communications and recognitions. And we do have Mr. Morris Lipson Jr. for item number 7. Mr. Lipson?
Good afternoon to everybody. Well, I just want to communicate to our board chairman here that the Texas Aggies won today.
Yes, they did.
And, no, seriously though. I just want to speak a little bit about action item 7, to consider and possible action to select a name for the Student Activity Center. I never thought I'd see the day, but I think there's very few people in this room that are older than I am. And well, except maybe for one board member over there. But I'd just like to, I know you're taking up this item today, and I'd like just to very generally let everybody know that for those of you that know the history of our Student Activity Center, many years now ago, and what it took to get it built. It took several bond issue elections, and we lost a bunch of them, not that many, and we had ourselves, the school district named a committee, of which I was honored to be a part of it at a very young age. But there was people on that committee that every time we'd take it, the bond to the election, and we'd lose it, we would get discouraged. And I would always say, and I would tell him, and I think most of you know who I'm talking about, I would tell him and several committee members, you know, this is never gonna pass. And undoubtedly, every single time, he'd tell me, oh yes, it's gonna pass. He says, because we're gonna keep at it until it passes. And it did. And now, as you see around Eagle Pass, that's growing so much, where we have a school district that is exemplary, it's top-notch. It provides quality education for all of our children, and you also see many other facilities that have that are in Eagle Pass now. But the Student Activity Center, I think, was pretty much the first step. It was the first step. It's taken us to the next level, and I just wanted to be here tonight and tell you that it took the work of many, but it took the tenacity, the belief, the persistence of one man that made it his project and wanted it so very much so for it to be a reality. And I wanted to let everybody to know that tonight, because I know he's looking down upon us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lipson. We'll now move to recognitions. Number one, recognition of Graves Elementary Division III Boys Baseball Team for their undefeated season and for being the City of Eagle Pass Parks and Recreational Baseball League champions.
Good evening, Mr. President, distinguished members of the board, and of course, Superintendent Mijares. Thank you for allowing me to spend some time with you this evening. Our first recognition for tonight is to recognize the Graves Tiger Baseball Team. Graves Elementary would like to send out a tiger-sized congratulations to their Division III Tiger Baseball Team for their remarkable season. The Tigers ended their season on top as they nabbed the City of Eagle Pass Parks and Rec Division III Baseball Championship. The whole school is extremely proud of their boys as they went the whole season undefeated. Go Tigers! At this time, we invite the board and Mr. Mijares to come forward for photos. Our next recognition is in honor of Seckle Mines Division II softball champs. Congratulations are in order for Seckle Mines Girls Division II Mighty Minor softball team, who were recently named the City of Eagle Pass Parks and Rec Division II champions. The final game took place on May 16th, and the Miners hit it out of the park with a close and final score of 10-9. Way to go, Lady Miners. And now, rounding out our baseball recognitions for this evening, we have the unstoppable CC1 High School District Champion Maverick Baseball Team. The Mavericks entered this year's playoff bracket as not only district champs, but back-to-back district champs. And they also nabbed the bi-district champ title as well. Maverick Baseball has cemented itself as a 5A powerhouse and a force to be reckoned with. Way to go, Mavs!
Congratulations to all of you. We will now move to district reports and presentations. We will take 1, 2, and 3 together. Are we good?
Good evening. Yes, we're still doing good. When you look at the 3 reports, the financial statement, when you look at the M&O on page 40, there on page 40, that's our M&O funds. When you look at the revenues for this year, we're realizing the revenues that were projected, so we'll be able to realize what we approved during the budget. The expenditures, we also continue to do well on the expenditure side. We're below. Our cost savings has materialized during this year. And at the end of the year, we're still projecting a balanced budget or even a surplus budget at the end of the year. So that's still going to materialize. We're going to be counting on the monies from TA for the home harmless. They're going to allow us funding for the first 4-6 weeks. So that looks good. The utility report, when you look at it, we're going to be saving close to $600,000 this year again. This is attributed to the E3 project that we had. The savings is going to more than pay the payment that we're making every year, so that's good. And then when you look at the taxes, we're still collecting the taxes. It's consistent with what we've collected in other years. We'll be at about 99% collection rate, which is a very high rate. So everything still looks good for this fiscal year. Are there any questions?
Very good. Any questions? If not, we will move to action items. Number 1, consider possible action to select the name for the Student Activity Center. Mr. Mijares?
Yes, Mr. President. This item is to name the Student Activity Center after Mr. Lynn Purcell. Mr. Purcell was an educator for 39 years, 36 with our district, 3 years with La Pryor. He was also a school board member for 2 years. Mr. Purcell, this is something very personal to me because Mr. Purcell used to be my teacher. Mr. Purcell just didn't teach the materials. He also taught us about life. And he was also a former colleague. We were both principals at the same time. So I think that Mr. Purcell, I can honestly and truly say, if it wasn't for Mr. Purcell being on the board, more than likely we wouldn't have the Student Activity Center right now. We, as principals, we got together. I'm glad some of the EPA association is here. The Principals Association principals are here in support. We together worked for that bond, and we were able to, but it wouldn't be possible if Mr. Purcell wouldn't have been part of the board. So I think that it's just fitting that with all his contributions to sports, to announcing, there's no better person for us to name the Student Activity Center for Mr. Lynn Purcell. So just to give you a brief reasons for this item.
So just to clarify, the motion would be to name, or for the Student Activity Center to be the Lynn Purcell Student Activity Center?
Yes.
Okay. That would be the motion. Is there a motion?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I so move.
Chairman. We have a motion by Mr. Perry. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Martinez, by Trustee Martinez. Any questions or comments or?
I have a comment, Mr.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to reiterate what was said about what Mr. Mijares said about Mr. Purcell. Those of us that were blessed to have had him somewhere touch part of our lives and our hearts, I think it was a blessing. I really do. I mean, there's very few people, they don't make them like that anymore. There's very few people that, you know, they leave an impact in your life. You think that you're playing a certain sport and he's your coach, but you end up learning a lot more than the sport that you were actually out there playing. And that was Mr. Purcell. He was, for me, I mean, he was a man of a few words, but what he said, you did. And it was a pleasure to have shared some of those moments with him. And I can't think of anybody, you know, there's a lot of people out there that have succeeded and have done well for the community. But as far as being active with students and teachers and the whole community, Mr. Purcell had it all. So I'm very pleased that this is being presented. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Alvarez. Anybody else? Any other comments? If no, all in favor? Ms. Purcell will abstain. All opposed? Motion passes unanimous. Congratulations to the Purcell family. If there's anybody that would like to, Ms. Purcell?
On behalf of the family, I thank you. He loved sports, he loved baseball, he loved this community, and we're very appreciative for this recognition.
A big congratulations to the Purcell family and to the new Lynn Purcell Student Activity Center. Once again, congratulations. Before I move to the next item, I forgot to do roll call, so I'm going to do it real quick. Ms. Hila Martinez, Vice President, present. Dr. Hector Alvarez, Secretary, present. Trustee Chris Hiller, present. Mr. Victory Perry, Trustee, present. Ms. Glenda Purcell, Trustee, present. Ms. Lupita Fuentes is not here. Samuel Mijares, Superintendent, present. Richard Streber, Attorney, present. And myself, Jorge Barrera, present. Now we'll move to number 2. Consider and take possible action to select a name for the inside loop facing Diaz Street at Seco Mines Elementary. Mr. Mijares?
Yes. Yes, Mr. President. We would like to honor Ms. Margarita Banda because she volunteered for 30 years as a Seco Mine crossing guard. We would like to name the inside loop of Seco Mines as a Banda loop or Margarita Banda loop. She volunteered for free for many, many years, and that was when Mr. Martinez was there, I believe, and Mr. Moncada. So she even worked under Ms. Martinez, the current principal.
Very good. So the motion would be, just to clarify, the inside loop of Seco Mines where students get dropped off and picked up
Yeah.
would be the Margarita Banda loop. So that would be the motion. I'd like to make that motion. I'm sorry.
You went?
Yes.
Okay, and I'll go ahead and second.
And there's a second by Dr. Alvarez. Any comments, questions? If not, all in favor? All those in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations.
Boy, you got somebody, alguien quiere decir algo? Anybody want to say something on behalf of your mom? No tienes
Spokesperson.
pocas
Ándale,
palabras.
spokesperson. Sí.
O aquí, ahí está bien, como donde guste.
Testing. En primer lugar, quiero darle las gracias a todo el comité, ¿verdad? A toda la Independent School Board. Principal, Mr. Martínez, Mr. Olivar, estuvo de over 30 years, I want to say 35, working day and night, wind, rain, cold, hot, you name it. Strong lady. And on behalf of me, my dad, my brothers, appreciate that. Thank you.
Once again, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to make a comment on Ms. Vanda also. Yes, I had the pleasure of meeting them a long time ago with the Eagle Pass Striders with a program, and that's what I wanted to say is that not only was she involved with the school and all that, but even with the athletes, with the runners. We had some great runners come out there. Felipe Vanda, I ran with him. I had the pleasure of running with him, and as the Vanda family was always there to help out, to lend a helping hand because we would travel. So they would always, we'd hold fundraisers and they were always there. And I really admire that she kept that up all these years, and we appreciate that too. So felicidades a la familia Vanda.
Once again, congratulations, Ms. Banda and your family. Thank you. We will now move to consent items. We will take 1 through 7. If there are any questions or comments on the items. And just so you all know, at a later time, we'll have official naming of not only the SAC, but also the loop, and we'll let you all know as well. If there are no questions, do we have a motion to approve the consent items? You have a motion?
So move.
We have a motion, and we have a second by Trustee Purcell. No other questions? All in favor?
Mr. President, I'd like to abstain from item number 3.
Mr. Hiller, Chris Hiller will abstain from item number 3. All in favor? Motion passes, motion passes. We will now move to closed session. The board will hear the request to hire personnel to fill vacancies pursuant to TGC 551.074. The Board of Trustees of the Eagle Pass Independent School District will convene in closed session as authorized by the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, to deliberate upon the following matters. The board will hear the request to hire personnel to fill vacancies pursuant to TGC 551.074. Do I have a motion to convene in closed session?
So move.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. We have a second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. The time is 6:03, and the date is Tuesday, June 21st, 2022, and the Board of Trustees is now in closed session, and no action will be taken in closed session. The time is 6:26 PM. The date is Tuesday, June 21st, 2022, and the Board of Trustees of the Eagle Pass Independent School District is now in open session, and we will move to item number 9. Number 1, consider and take appropriate action on the request to hire personnel to fill vacancies pursuant to TGC 551.074.
I move to approve the request to hire personnel to fill vacancies pursuant to TGC 551.074 as discussed in closed session.
We have a motion by Trustee Purcell. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Trustee Healer. All in favor? Any questions, comments? All opposed? Motion passes. Now we'll move to announcements. Mr. Mijares?
Yes, just a reminder, the school safety training. This training was adopted April 2022 by the State Board of Education. It's an online training, must be completed by September 30th, and a refresher every 2 years for board members. Also, a reminder that we will have our team of 8, and it will be done in September, sometime in September.
This is the one.
Mr. Vada comes over and gives us the training.
Do we want to do that then or wait till after the election?
Well, I think it is required in September.
Oh, is it?
Yes, we have to do it, but
Okay. Now we'll move to adjourn. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I so move.
We have a
Second.
motion. We have a second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes. Meeting adjourned. It is 6:28 PM.